What's up guys, Matt here coming at you with another quick video. We're going to be taking a look at the MofoRC portal axles for the Scx24. Here's a comparison. That's a stock setup for the most part. There's the MofoRC portals. This is a set of Panda portals on the Scx24. And there's a stock Panda Tetra 24. So we're going to take a look at the install here. You can see this is one side with the portals, one without. So let's get into it. All right, so we have one side installed. You can kind of see the clearance that you're basically going to gain, but also how much you're raising your center of gravity. So bringing it up a decent little bit, but we're going to find out if it's worth it. The portals are cool. The clearance is really neat. And so we're going to see really how it kind of compares to the Panda and just overall, if we like them or not. I'm pulling these that I had before off because I'm just done with these. I can't handle that. All that give. They sent new screws. I just don't care. I wanted to go back to straight axles on this truck. That's what those were on. And so that's what I'm doing. As I switch this truck over to the Mofo, I'm taking the stock stuff from it, putting back on my Toyota. I just honestly like the width and everything better on my Toyota when it was just basically stock width. So let's throw one of these together. I'll show you how they go together real quick. So you can actually put one of these together just like this. So these slide through like that. There's not any bearings, and so I'm a little worried about that. But everything seemed to turn smooth once it was in there. I am going to put just a dab of grease right there. And I mean, probably wouldn't have to do that, but I'm going to. And then, so the way this goes is this piece next. Just like that. And then these just drop into here. So I'm going to grease that up. That'll work. And then you're going to have a cover. And you're going to have long screws that go through here. And those just go all the way through into the steering knuckle. Figure out where that lines up at. And then you got a little bit shorter screws that go here. They go together super simple. Seem to be pretty smooth once they're together. So that turns nice and easy. Hopefully over time we don't get any kind of wear and binding in there, but these gears already seem much better. They're not brass like in these. You can basically see that when I pull it apart. So a lot of people were getting wear in those gears and stuff. So that's one of the front knuckles. Super simple. Now you just take your stock steering knuckle off, slap this one on, swap your O-ring over. I have an extra one here. If anybody don't know, there's the little O-ring that goes down inside of there. And we'll get this side on real quick. So you want to make sure, you see how free that turns? You want to make sure when you put these together that they're the same. I had just a little bit of rubbing on the other side, and so I grounded a little bit off of the back side of this. It was hitting my shock bolt. Yours may be fine. I don't have a rounded head screw into my shocks. I have more like a square tip head, and so it was rubbing it just a little bit. So let's see how this one fits. So these are like all of your brass knuckles. They have a screw with this little spacer to pivot on. So it seems like it's going to be okay. Yeah, that's pretty free, so I'll call that good. So you can see the front there installed. We have the 0 offset wheels here that will go over the portals. We may put those together and slap them on, but I kind of wanted to see how it fit with just stock setup, so people would know if they didn't want those wheels what they were looking at. Pretty wide, but not horrible. And then here's the clearance between the Panda with the portals and these. The Mofos seem really good. I like the brass, you know, of course it's going to be nice and heavy, adding that weight up front. You're not going to have to do anything else to add weight up there. These I could see being a little bit of an issue catching on stuff, but I like the clearance of these. I kind of just wish somebody would design a completely new axle for the Scx24 instead of add-ons, but I think they'll work. All right, so the rear is super simple. Take your wheel off, your hex off. You're gonna take these 2 bolts out, pull the axle, take your bearing. It's gonna go in here. I'll go ahead and give this a little bit of grease. Then you got one of these. Goes right over top of it. A little grease on this one. Then your cover. Long screws in the top. Shorter ones in the bottom. And it's set. It's nice that these screws actually hold. There's not going to be any separation there for sure. So you can see there, they're installed. We're ready to go. All right, guys, so here they are installed. On this side, I put the Mofo Zero offset wheel that he's offering on just to show you the difference, how those set in farther than, you know, a normal beadlock wheel. So you can see that one sits way out here. You can see the outer cover. This one steps back in. So if you don't want that added width, you can always go with those. I just prefer my bead locks, so I'm not going to be running these, but I wanted to show you guys the width. And then I also seen where Iceberg RC just released their portals for the Scx24. They look very similar to these for the Panda. I'd like to test those out, but I'm not going to spend the money on any more portals for these things because I just prefer my regular axles, to be honest with you, on these Scx24s. For me, the price versus the gain in performance, it's just not worth it. If you want portals, then spend the money, have portals. Not hating on them, not saying they're not good. For me, it's just not worth it. You know, it's almost the price of another truck to get a set of portals, and the little bit of height that you gain on the center of gravity is huge on this scale. So this thing did pretty well, but it seems more top heavy now, and I didn't change anything but put these portals on. Not hating on these at all. These are very good design and they're going to work great, I believe, but I wanted portals for these, and now I really don't. So, you know, it's one of those things. Some people are going to love them, some are going to hate them. Y'all let me know what you think. For me, I prefer to just, honestly, I think stay with my regular axles and deal with hitting the diff cover every now and then. It's not much of a big deal, honestly. Let me know what you think. I'll link everything in the description. I appreciate everybody watching. Peace.